transparent and real, long-time open bodybuilding Olympian and host of the IFBB AMA. How you doing, man?
Good. How's my sound? Sounds good?
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, perfect.
You look like you got an official studio going on back there.
No, I do this stuff all the time. I do this website called ivbama.org.
Yeah. I've seen you do it on there.
Yeah, so
for sure.
Me and a bunch of other guys, we do a lot of podcasts on there. So I use Riverside all the time. It's just usually I'm the host doing all the screen shares and everything, and I do all that stuff. But today roles are reverse. I'm gonna be the interviewee today.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I'm a big fan of IFBBAMA. Actually, had Chris Tuttle and Milos on here too. I'm just always loved that.
Yeah, they're great.
But I did wanted to say, I have so much respect for how open you've always been and how deep you go into your history and your past. And I mean, you've gone through some fucking hard shit, dude. And I think it's helpful to hear for many of us in particular. I know some of these topics have been maybe deeper and more touchy than most people are ever willing to go. But your history in regards to your upbringing and your history with partying and drugs, I feel like there's a lot of us, honestly, that can probably relate. We just don't talk about it as much, you know?
Yeah, for sure. The reason why for me, it's like a big subject for me sometimes is because it was literally like just killing me. You know, I was ruining my life. I was like homeless twice pretty much. And so for me, it's like, it's not just like on the weekends I do too much, which I can relate to that because I was there first before getting too crazy, right? So for me, it's like, it was a life or death. So that's why it's like, it can be a deep subject, and I don't mind sharing it because I've always shared my whole life on YouTube, you know, for a long time. So I was like, I have to be honest. I feel like I can't act a certain way online when something bad is happening in my life, you know, or I'm going through something. I feel like I had to share it. And honestly, when sharing it, I know it helps other people, but also it helps me. It helps me to share it, you know. It makes me like, almost like relieves me of it, you know, letting go a bit, and I know it helps people. And yeah, it's part of the program anyway.
Yeah. It's funny, you actually just reminded me of this comment that was posted on I still need to go through all of them, but this comment that was posted on my last podcast with Seth Feroci, and one of the guys was like, dude, this is great that I feel like I'm back in a men's group again, which is honestly something that I relate to, because when I was with my boys in San Diego, I remember like just 9 of us would go on a trip to Scottsdale, and the first half of us would be just going on a hike and just hanging out with each other and just connecting with each other and talking about some shit that we're going through. And then the second half we'll go to the day clubs at Scottsdale and then just rip shit up and like get a little fucked up. But
yeah,
those were always like the best times, man. And I feel like those are some very important times that helped build me.
Yeah. So. No, I can relate to that because for me, I can relate to that in the sense that I never wanted to go to rehab when I was like in active addiction, because it's like they want to stop, right? But once I would get in there, you know, then you go through the first like couple of weeks or more that you really hate yourself and you're really like down and out. But then if I look back, I only have good memories in rehab because it was all about like sharing, that you create these really quick bonds with these guys, and then you help each other, you share, and I only have good memories from all my rehabs. And sometimes I'm like, wow, I wish it's not anymore because I'm happy with my life now. But like before, when I was single, I was like, well, I would go back to rehab today. Can I do a 2 weeks vacation there? Because it's like, when, honestly, like when in your life can you spend 24 hours, 7 days a week on getting better? Just getting better, not making money, not planning anything. Everything's planned for you, just on getting better. There's nowhere else, I find. That's like, maybe you could create that yourself in a men's retreat, kind of. But it's like, I find that the rehabs were like really like the only place for me that I found so far that 24/7 for 3 months, sometimes 6 months, sometimes a month. I was able to focus just on me getting better and fixing stuff that creates suffering inside of me, you know, or really bad habits or whatever it is. So I get it. Sometimes just like with the boys, it's like you create this bond, and this one of the good memories I have for the rehabs is that.
Yeah, yeah. Do you mind if we start from the beginning? I remember that you mentioned years ago on some podcast that you believe your passion for bodybuilding may have been related to your upbringing and maybe your relationship with your
Yeah,
parents.
yeah. My parents got divorced. I was 9 years old, and I think because I was maybe sensitive. For me, it was a big deal. I was scared. I felt like it was my fault. I was worthless, kind of thing. And then the only thing I could control, I found is like, and my dad wasn't around, so I was like, what's my example? Why am I? What's a strong man? Well, like, how can I feel safe? Then I just remember like watching these movies with Arnold, Stallone. It's like then I was like, or the video games I played Duke Nukem really young, and I was like, I guess the guy looks like this, strong, muscular, kicks ass. Just and so I have to be like that. And the only thing I could do to look like that when you're young is that you start doing push-ups. You start doing push-ups, you start training. Then because of my genetics, I had like good results, and then I would get a feedback from the outside world that would be like, "Hey, I'm doing something, and I'm getting a positive feedback from what I'm doing here." So it's also like it was the first time that I would be having some sort of delayed gratification, which is exactly what you need to make you proud of yourself. Anything else that's not like that you get instant gratification, it's the opposite. You're gonna feel like shit after. But if you suffer now and reap benefits later, that's exactly how you become more proud of yourself and you raise your self esteem. So I went full on with that, and because of my genetics, I was getting the feedback. People, I was like very young, I had these muscles, and I just started doing that again. It's just kind of automatic, you know. It's like if me being good at like chess would have given me an outside validation, I would have maybe been really good at chess, But that's not what happened. My genetics threw me in that sport.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started. I started training because I felt like it was the only thing that I could feel. I was feeling like a value,
Hmm.
just training and being muscular and just strong and stuff. So
How,
and that yeah,
how old did you say you were? Was it you said like 10
I was
or?
9 years old when my parents divorced, so I was already like doing some like little home push-ups before that and ad exercises because my dad was like I said, showed me all these movies like Rambo and
Hmm.
stuff. I was pretty young looking back, showed me these movies, but
Hmm.
yeah, so he did that, and then like there was he had his own thing with addiction and stuff, and yeah, and so it's like it kind of they split apart, and for me, it's like that was really like a big thing, very traumatic. But nothing bad happened to me. It's more like the lack of thing. Like they create some type of void that I feel like I didn't have. So I never got beat, never got nothing really bad happened to me physically as far as abuse like that. It was just the lack of love, I guess, and then splitting apart that really affected me. Like and some people had way worse childhoods than me, but we in the thing that I've learned is that you can't really compare trauma. Like if that was
Yeah.
the biggest thing that happened to me back then, the worst thing, this is the worst thing that happened to me in my life back then, right? So some people have that, and then on top they add like a bunch of stuff, and it's like it's really um, sad. But for me, it was a big deal. It created a big wound, and then bodybuilding, and training kind of like helped me feel better. But it was always like I'm not good enough, and then that voice of being not good enough. What you do when you're a guy, you try to like be good enough. But if your whole life you tell yourself you're not, even once you get to a certain point, the pattern of like thinking is still the same. It's even like stronger, the obsession that you just become better and better and better, but you never think you're good enough. So this is how you become like a great athlete. This is how you become like a machine. You know what I mean? So we kind of need some of us need that. Most of us have that, the athletes, but then at some point it's kind of hard to stop it. And then for me, it's like when I found drugs at some point, I think at 20, earlier than that, 18 years old, but 20 was more like the raves and stuff. I did some pills and stuff, and I was like, I didn't feel any of that anymore. I was like, wow, I feel like I could like, when you have a short breath and you finally take a big breath.
Hmm.
I feel like my whole life I had short breath, and then that night when I did these pills, I was like, it was like a relief. My whole life was like there was no more stress or pain inside. And then my brain right away registered that because I have an addict brain, right? So I was pretty much fucked down the line. 5 years later, well,
Shit.
full blown addict. But that's what happens. You don't wake up and you're like, yeah, I think I'm gonna try to be an addict in a few years. You just do one bad decision after the other, not thinking
Yeah.
it's bad, thinking you'll be fine, and then it's like when you want to stop, it's too late. So that's
Do that.
so the childhood like led to like the rest, kind of like I did a fast track, my teenage years fast tracked into that, but it's pretty much kind of what happened, you know.
Bro, the way you describe that feeling gave me chills.
Which feeling? Oh, the drug thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like people don't realize that there's a reason why addicts will use drugs. Usually it's to like numb the pain, hide the pain, or self-medicate for a mental issue they have. And then at some point it's just too late. And everybody has that one thing that will give them the ultimate relief for a few hours, for a day. And then when it goes away, the brain already knows, why would I do all this therapy or do all this work? Sometimes you don't even know there's another solution. But your brain knows, oh, you'll feel good in like 30 seconds if you do that. And then the brain makes you want to do that. And at some point, the brain only sees that, becomes obsessed with that, with the dopamine and all that stuff, how it works. And then it's all it thinks about. The craving starts.
Yeah.
So I'll do a quick, like a breakdown of like how a craving feels. Because I've always tried to explain that to somebody, right? So people say, why don't you just don't do drugs? Okay, well, I'll give you an example. This is how the addict brain kind of works with cravings. For me, my perspective. So you have a time in your life now where you really had to pee the most. You had to pee, but you couldn't pee, like you were like in a train or something. You remember a special moment?
Yeah, it's usually in the middle of podcasts.
Middle of podcast? Okay. So imagine that, that 5 second where you're kind of stuck, right? And then you're obsessing over having to pee. I mean, there's a few times in my life, the listeners could maybe find an example, like maybe I was in a taxi on my way to the airport, there was traffic, I had to hold it, and then it was like really painful, and all you think about is like you have to pee, right? All you think about is you have to pee. You can't really focus on anything else. Whatever happens, your brain is like, there's always even if you're getting distracted, your brain says like, I gotta pee, I gotta pee, I gotta pee. And all you're looking forward to, whatever the fuck you're doing, all you're looking forward to is going to pee. And then once you pee, you have a big relief. You're so happy that you're peeing. But before that, you're obsessed about peeing and nothing else. So me, when I was craving drugs, it was exactly like that. And most addicts is like that. It's the obsession. It's like you have this immense urge to pee that's really like overcoming your whole thinking, your whole being, and all you're thinking about is going to pee. So all I was thinking about is like doing the drugs. It's not my fault that I'm thinking like that, but it's like but I got there through bad decisions. But at that moment in time, my brain was like that. And some people, they never get like that with drugs. They don't have that brain thing, but some people do. And it's not like addiction is like hereditary, but the traits of addiction are impulsivity, compulsivity, obsessive personality. These are traits you inherit from your parents.
Yeah.
Not the addiction, but these things are a recipe for addiction. So that's a good description for like the cravings that I found. I think people can relate to, who can understand better.
What's up, homies? I'm back at my new place now in Vegas, and we just came out with some new shirts for the Transparent merch. None of the basic shit. Now we got some new sick styles, a little bit of metal and rock inspired, some other shit, and then also a bunch of new colors. So if you guys want to check that out on the site, that's www.icons, spelled AYKONS, icons.com/Nile. That'll automatically apply the Nile discount code and get you right to the site where we have the new designs up. And some of the stuff like the cutoff are 380 GSM French terry cotton, so pretty high quality stuff that were helped design by my boy Dion, one of my best friends in the world. This is the guy that he and I went through a lot in life in the last decade as our best friend Ryan passed away, and I'm really happy that I got to do this with him. But anyways, this is out, so if you guys ever need anything or you have any complaints, I'm fucking here. Just let me know. Let's ride this shit out and grab life by the balls, baby. Peace. I would like to think that maybe my brain chemistry doesn't lie in that place, but I've had addictions to a lot of different things over the course of my life, and it's not just drugs. Like it first started off with compulsive food eating,
Mm,
and then when I turned 12, and after some just tough life situations that were hard for me to deal with emotionally, I started being bulimic and I started throwing up food that I was eating. But then I
mm,
would still compulsively eat food because just the act of putting it in my mouth and consuming it made me feel better about what was going on in my life.
mm.
Um, and it just kept continuing on with just kept continuing on with different things. Like by the time I was like a preteen and I started feeling like the hormones kicking and everything, then it ended up being just jacking off, you know? And then after that, it was like, I don't know, things just consistently kept changing and shifting. At one point, like in my 20s, I was addicted to Kratom very heavily. That one was really bad because whenever I would come off, I was taking over 14 grams a day. And when I would come off, I would get like feverishly sick,
Mm.
like
My
cold sweats. And
withdrawals.
yeah, just
You said
pretty bad.
kratom, right? You said kratom.
Kratom, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Um, I had a small addiction to ketamine at some point too, which I don't think I've ever really gone deep into the podcast. But and it took me a while, man. I think it was like a couple of years, I'd say. But I think over the course of the last couple decades, a lot of my biggest hurdles have been me overcoming these almost addictive habits and looking at resistance as a win and an accomplishment. And I think in trying to focus on how terrible I feel after I do these things or after I take these things, like, because my brain just automatically wants to think about how positive I feel as it's happening, right?
Mm.
But
Yes.
if I just keep trying to remember and remind myself how fucking shitty I feel afterwards and how it's almost like it's a compounding roller coaster that just gets worse and worse and worse and worse as I keep doing it. It makes it a little bit easier for me to just be like, all right, I'm just gonna fucking ride this out. I'm gonna listen to that one thing that Huberman said about your interior mid cingulate cortex in your brain grows every time you do something that's hard, especially resisting something.
Mhm. That's cool.
And then I just focus on those two things. And then I think
Mhm.
that's what's helped me over the course of the last, I don't know, a couple decades. And I feel like now I don't really have that issue as much.
That's good.
So I don't know,
Yeah, that
but
trick you said, I call it to play the tape till the end. Because
mm,
for me, like every time I would have a craving, and I would have because sometimes they pop in now, but like now I don't want to escape my life anymore. You know, with my wife and my baby, and it's like I'm at a place now that I'm very lucky. I don't want to leave it anymore. But when I was single, it was so easy for me to just relapse because it was like I had nothing really like, and I could lie to myself, or maybe I can just do it just one weekend. But now it's like now, like even if I would be single and go just for one weekend, there's no in hell. It's impossible for me to do that. So I would
yeah,
just play tape to the end. And what happens? Well, if I start Friday night and then it's Sunday night and I feel really good and like usually I peak after 48 hours anyway, I'm not gonna want to stop. I'm gonna buy more. I'm gonna do so. It's always been like that. And I try to remember. I've always stopped when I said I stopped. I've always used the amount that I said I would use it first. It's always no. So I do like you, play it till the end, and then what happens? And I go on a crazy bender, then I fucking hate myself, and then for like 4 or 5 days of sleep, and then wake up, hate myself again for like 2 weeks, try to get my shit back together, and then I'm back on my feet in like 3 weeks. So I just threw a month out of just like it's like time goes by so quick, right? So for me, it's like that. A good trick you have, play it till the end. That's a good one. And the thing about Uberman said is actually, didn't know that. That's pretty cool too. But yeah, the being the your trick and my trick playing the tape to the till the end is just you're being honest with yourself. Where does this lead me to? Like, why am I lying to myself that it'll be fine or I focus just on the positive? It's like you have to be really honest with in the past. You look at your history, what happened, and then it's like, why would today be different? you're just trying to find a way to excuse yourself to give you a reason to do it because you don't feel good. And then your brain is like, try to feel good with the thing. It's easy for the brain, right? The brain doesn't know after, really, because the brain only
Mm-hmm.
lives in kind of in the present,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the craving is in the present. It doesn't think about the future consequences for sure. Because unless you force yourself consciously like you did, that's a good trick. But yeah, you think before you went from like one little addiction to the other, and then at some point you kind of like knew yourself enough that like, yeah, if I do that, this doesn't end well. That's good. Some people like me, I needed 5 fucking rehabs to like think like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's good. It's good you did
Mm-hmm.
that. It's good stuff. Yeah.
It's weird. I think I feel the same way about I think the shit kicked a lot harder for me whenever I was single as well. And
Mhm.
I think it's just being alone where
Yeah,
those
it's also that,
tendencies are
dude.
just so much harder to resist for me.
Not
At
only
least they
that
used
is
to.
that doing a bunch of drugs with hot girls is fucking. It was every fucking guy has the urge to do that, like biologically, and just like you shoot your dopamine like 1,000% in the air statistically, and then you have like you're with girls who are like, and you're gonna have like sexy time and stuff. It's of course your brain is gonna want to do that,
Yeah.
So it's like and then if you're like a charismatic guy, you got some looks, and you got it's like it can happen like that. So it's
Yeah.
like it was so easy. It's like if you combine drug by itself, yeah. One woman by themselves, sure, yeah. But with
Yeah.
the two together, this is why it was my problem, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
just like the drugs, because I would never do drugs alone. I would grab the drugs alone, and then I would try to make something happen, right? So being single was like almost like a trigger for me.
I
But
think
I but
mine's. Oh, what were you gonna
but
say?
I would say that, but I tried to fix that with relationships for that reason, but then it wouldn't work either. So
Mm.
I had to, so sometimes you try to change you move from a city to the other, you become in a relationship, you try all these different things before really noticing that you're powerless. And then you start doing the real program. But yeah, what we're saying?
I'm just thinking about what you said, and I think mine started off first with girls as well, and
Mm,
then I think it I think from that I started just enjoying the feeling, and even when I wasn't with them, I kind of craved it, so I started doing it when I was alone also.
mm.
And then it started being me coping for whenever I was feeling those emotions when I was alone, you know? Um, which is weird because I even to the point when I started doing ketamine, it was like not when I was with people. Like I actually wanted to avoid it when I was with people. I almost wanted to save it for when I felt like things were fucking tough when I was alone, you know?
Mm. No, I get what you mean.
And then it took
Yeah.
me a while to realize like, man, I'm really, really using this as a coping mechanism. And I need to just
Mhm.
face these emotions and process them, which is just fucking hard on its own. But I think it hasn't been only till like the last 5 years that I really realized that like I actually genuinely enjoy facing these emotions because I know they're not going to feel as terrible later. I'm actually really just releasing them.
That's good.
But it was something hard to comprehend, because sometimes you
Oh,
just,
sure.
especially when you're going through the shit, like when I was a kid, and I'm sure you were too, every day, no matter how long it was years on end, every day just felt like life wasn't worth it, you know?
Oh, yeah. I felt like it's for me, it's like I had all these emotions that I was feeling, but the only thing I could express was anger. It's like I was kind of like retarded emotionally a little bit. It's like I felt like I didn't know how to express sadness. I would bottle that shit down really hard. Sadness, I would, and even loneliness, all these things. Or if I would feel like I was betrayed by a girl, it's like all these things where I would like switch to anger because anger for some reason felt good, and I knew that anger. I knew what anger felt like, and I feel like I still had somewhat control with anger. And
Hmm.
then the higher I was angry, the lower my IQ went, and and because I'm impulsive and all this shit, I would start
Hmm.
making the worst decisions. This is
Hmm.
how I would relapse and do
Yeah.
stupid stuff, and just like you know do things that I would regret later. So yeah, but yeah, you're right. In my teenage years, I was really angry, but it's not because I was angry. It's like have you watched what's the kids show? It's like all these emotions in the brain, and they try to like. You ever see
Oh
that?
yeah, Inside Out or something like that.
Yes. So that show we watched that in rehab. That was like a kids show, really, and I was like, holy shit! It's like pretty much like they were kind of like putting sadness apart, like we don't need this one, and then it's like everything was like out of whack pretty much. It's a good movie for those who want to. It's pretty deep. Even if you're like a grown man, you could watch this kids
Yeah,
show, but it's like there's something to learn there. But yeah, so it's like for me, it's like I couldn't. Anger was the thing. It's like sadness was disguised as anger, and all this stuff, the loneliness, everything. And
yeah,
but you're right. It's like we have a thing in the program what's called a HALT. Sometimes you feel like you want to do drugs because you see either you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. So you can do a self check. If you feel like you want to cope out and you're seeking out something like food, ice cream, or whatever it is, right? Because some people it's not most people it's not hard drugs, right? People listening right now.
mm,
Sometimes it's like they're gonna go through a bag of chip, ice cream, whatever. So it's like, okay, am I just hungry or angry, lonely, or tired? And then sometimes like you're hungry. Okay, well, why don't you eat a big balanced meal? Let's do that, and maybe then you'll feel better. And sometimes you're angry. Are you angry about something? Maybe you need to talk about with one of your friends about how you feel or whatever it is. And then you feel better. Or lonely, that's a big one. So if you're lonely, then you need connection. The opposite of addiction is connection. People say that because addiction will you will isolate yourself, even if you're with people. Um, so yeah, so there's loneliness and then tired. Sometimes you're just tired, and then when you're tired, you don't think right. So you just need to take a nap or go to bed.
yeah, yeah,
It's a
for
very,
sure,
it's
bro.
very, it's very, very simple. For me, it's like sometimes that I feel like shit. If I do my own schedule. Sometimes I'll just like I took a nap before. I I always feel better after napping.
Yeah,
It's like why would I drag myself. Like, there's nothing. It's sometimes I'm like coffee or nap. I'm like, to nap and then coffee. This is the best thing, you
bro.
know.
It's insane. Just like, and it doesn't happen often, but that like one time that I just wake up on the wrong side of the bed and I am just so fucking grumpy the entire day. Dude. I'm so
Yeah.
pissed, dude.
Oh, it's weird, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy, man. Like, it's almost like it's crazy even thinking about myself in that state because, like, if you're healthy and you're fine and you had good sleep, everything's okay. Everything's
I know.
controllable. And it's just
Yeah.
like you just know how to respond in the right way. But like just, like literally like waking up like literally like 45 minutes a little earlier than your cycle ends or something, and then you're just waking up on the wrong
Oh,
side of the
yeah.
bed. And holy fucking shit, man. Like I feel like just one like I spill my coffee a little bit and I'm just gonna throw my mug or something. I don't
Yeah.
know, something
Or you're
crazy.
walking you're
Something
walking through
ridiculous.
sludge all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I mean, it's a really great point that you made because I even think that I've only really gotten a hold of my own understanding my own emotional reactiveness in the last year or so. And I think that's allowed me to finally almost repair and like recreate my relationship with my parents this last year. Like I visited them for Christmas, and I think it was the first time I've ever left the house not getting in a fight with them and feeling like I missed them, which was like a
Great.
very
So where are they from? Are they nearby or they're like far away?
they're currently in College Station, Texas, which yeah, I'm in Vegas right now
Okay.
and
Okay.
was in LA, but yeah, yeah, just didn't have the best relationship growing up. So there was a lot of emotional reactiveness going on. I was punching holes in our walls and everything and just leaving the house and got suspended
Mm.
from high school and just all of those. And I mean, it continued on. And like, I think I got a better handle when I left the house at 50 and I applied for math and science school so I could go live in a dorm so didn't have to be home. And that was actually a really great experience, honestly, because I feel like I finally felt free. But obviously, when someone's like very sheltered and everything, and then suddenly they just,
Mhm.
it's like it was like me going into college was me at 15 going off to this dorm high school, and I started just getting in trouble and everything even more there, and continued on in college. But I think being alone and being single and creating these new friendships and relationships in different locations over the years has been what's allowed me to honestly reflect on how I act around different groups of people and reflect on how I want to be and think about the person I want to be, the man I want to be. And then as my later 20s came around, I felt my priorities change. And I don't really know why, if that's something just related to me aging, but I started realizing that I looked at having a family in the future as one of my biggest goals. And now I want to be good for that person and those people and my future children. Like I want to be this man that I vision for these people. And that man does not do or did not do the addictive things that I was doing that were causing me to spiral downwards in an unhealthy way. Or the emotional reactiveness too. Like whenever I'd get angry and just like fucking punch a hole in the wall, I was like, dude, that needs to stop. Like that has to absolutely stop. That can't ever happen again. I need to take a breath, and then I need to let myself settle down before I make any type of decision or action. And I think it's been really helpful. You know, I think all my friendships and relationships have just positively compounded forward and upwards in a great way, because I think now it's easier for me to just sit, take a breath, and realize and act in the way that I want to act, and in the way that I feel like a man should act.
Yeah, it's like you're acting you're kind of doing the part already before even your children's are there and stuff, and yeah, it's a good. You're right. For me, it's like, dude, the timing was good. I'm trying to think. Like, imagine if I had kids before, I don't know if I would have been able to just be the guy I am now. If I had in the midst of my problem, I would have a baby, man, because I couldn't stop, right? So I'm actually really grateful that now it's like, met my wife, and now we have like this baby, we have this house. We've been together like what, 5 years now? It's gonna be 5 years or something. It feels like it doesn't even feel that much different from the beginning. When you find someone, it's like you never fight, and it's like your best friend. It's like I got lucky. It's like I had a shit part of my life, but now it's like it's all awesome. So I'm really grateful for that. And you said like you punching holes in the wall. Um, I was just thinking that how like I'm immune to that with my son, because this my son woke up, so he had a poopy diaper. So right away I changed him, right, and then I put him on the ground, and then he crawls back up to me. He wants me to pick him out, like poopy diaper again, and they're like he eats a lot of foods. It's a big poopy diapers, and then I put it back on the ground. He poops again in a clean diaper within a minute. So then I'm trying to get my stuff ready, my coffee ready. It's like right when I got up at like 6:30, like 7 a.m. whatever. And then I'm like, I just think about him like being in poopy diapers. I'm like, I feel like of course I'm gonna change you. Like, come on. And then he kicks his legs. I tried to like wrestle with him, and there's like poopy fingers. Dude, it's like it's crazy. And it's just you're just like, it's so early, and he's so excited to see you, and he just doesn't care. It's like there's no way I could be angry at him for just being a baby, right? So yeah, you'll hopefully you go through all that too, and yeah, of course, having a child, there's a lot of sacrifice compared to when you don't have one. But what you get in return, man, is priceless. I don't even know what my purpose was before he was born. I'm trying to think, like, what was I even doing before he was born? It's like as soon as he was born, it's like, this is it. This is the whole point of this. And it kind of is biologically. The whole point is you
Yeah.
couple up, you mix your DNA, your genes, and then you make another half clone, and then you make a bunch of half clones, and that's how like everything, every cell in this earth works. You just divide yourself. So it does make a lot of sense. So it's like it's really well done. It's like the baby's born, and right away you're like, oh shit, I gotta provide. Should I be making more cash, or if I work too much, am I gonna not present? It's like all these things, your brain starts
Yeah.
going at 100 miles an hour and stuff. So it really helps also with like my cravings and everything, like I said, because now I'm at a point that I don't want to leave my child. I don't want to leave my life. But the thing is, I'm still doing my program. I still do the meetings every week. I still think about recovery every day. And it's like, because one of the main things that people relapse, what they do after having a few years, because I'm going to have 5 years clean May 28th. And what happens is that they stop doing the thing that got them clean. So they stop doing the recovery program, and then they think maybe they're different. Because what if like I'm good for 5 years, then in 5 years I think, oh, maybe I can have a drink with some of my friends that are more normal, and then maybe because I've done that 7 years, 6 years ago, I've done that. So you take a drink, then you're fine. Nothing bad happens if you have a drink. If you're an addict, doing hard drugs, and then it just like, but you're thinking like, when's the next time I can have a drink that's kind of normal? And is it 2 weeks? And then you're already thinking, obsessing over when can you have another drink. Normal people will have a drink. They won't even finish it. They won't even think about when is the next time I can have a drink. Me, I was like, okay, what's a good portion of a drink? I would drink it like, is it a normal speed, or should I be drink it slower to be more normal? And then the drink would be done. I'd be like, okay, when am I going to feel this? This is not like a normal behavior for a casual drinker, right? This is like addict behavior.
Mm.
And that is, I would already be obsessing over these things. And then I would like go back, because there was during the COVID time. That's what happened. The in-person meetings were shut down, and then people started dying in our town left and right. So there were Zoom meetings, but I wouldn't do that. And then I was like with another woman that, was drinking and stuff. So I thought maybe that I could do it too, because I forgot who I was. And then I just slowly but surely went from one thing to another. And then it was like full blown like relapse. And I checked myself in rehab again. But that was crazy. So what I'm saying now is that even though everything's going well and I don't want to do it, I'm still doing the program, and I'm still honest with myself. That's why, like I always say, yeah, I'm an addict. Of course, I'm an addict in recovery, but my brain is an addict. I stopped buying nicotine now, and I've like upped my dose of like these diet pops by like 400%. No, for real. It's like I feel like, because I still feel like I want to seek something out.
Yeah.
All the time.
No, I fucking get it, dude.
Yeah.
I get
So
it.
I don't think it's gonna go away. It's like
here
it's
right
either
now.
like then somebody, one of my friends yesterday asked me like, so what would you do if you didn't have the pops anymore? I said, well, I think I would probably like maybe buy gum or something. It's like I would go to the next thing. It's like I feel like sometimes like when I don't want to use too much like drinks, like I have like these things I gotta do something. I gotta do something. I gotta seek this. So my brain is still like that. It's like I feel like I'm always lacking something. But I try to just like be conscious of it, and I try not to do too much of this, so then I'm like no caffeine, but then I'm like no caffeine. That's for little bitches. I want the one with the caffeine. So it's all addict behavior I have still. So I know I'm an addict. So if I think like that with these little trivial things, gum, diet pops, what do you think is going to happen if I do drugs again?
Right.
So
Yeah,
I know myself 100%. So I have to remind myself I'm an addict. Some people like, I don't like to tell myself I'm an addict because I don't like that word, whatever. I said, okay, but don't forget you're one, at least, if you don't call yourself one. Because for me, it's like I have to remember every day. I can't let the pedal off that thinking. That's what's keeping me like alive and on track, is that I know that I can't do it because I'm just different than most people, when in that regard. But it's not only doom and gloom. Like there's a lot of cool qualities that come with it. The obsessive compulsive part, great for bodybuilding, right? You get obsessed over like a certain pose, how you look, and this and that. Your diet, you get to count it. Addict behavior. You can really count everything to the gram, every rice. I would like for the longest, for most of my preps, I would do like 301 rice. No, it's 300. I would waste time doing 300. And then I would like tell myself the last prep I did, okay, if it's 302, 302, 303, don't touch it. Because think about how many minutes you're going to save in your life if you don't touch it. It won't make a difference down the line. It didn't. So if you weigh your rice at 300 or 303, I did a whole prep, you still get shredded. So you guys can do what you want with that information. But I was crazy with the grams and everything. So you can be a full-blown obsessive addict with like in prep. It's perfect. And honestly, the time I would think the less about drugs, it's always on prep. There's a fucking reasons, because I could be obsessive with something else. You understand?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's healthy, but it could be could be a good thing if you feel like if you're really struggling with like some behaviors, addiction or whatever, if you're a competitor, do a show. Do a show and you won't think about drugs at all. But then it's dangerous because that's what happened to me in 2022. In 2020 also. The obsession is like a train, right? So I did this prep in 2020, did the Olympia. The obsessive train is going full pin, everything calculated to the thing. I would be taking like too much like Adderall, like misusing like a medication, which was already in a relapse in itself. I just, I wasn't in recovery. I guess that already back then it was already relapsing. But I was like super obsessive with everything. The train was going full spin. And then imagine like this is the date, this is the Olympia, and this is the train. The train keeps going. It keeps going. The train keeps going. So it's like I'm gonna be obsessive with where does it go? And then boom, we went back to drugs and partying real quick. So it doesn't replace a recovery program, but I'm just saying that it's the time I've thought the less about drugs and partying is when I prep. It's kind of a relief, So it's way easier to stay clean when you do something else that you can be obsessive in,
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, we could list out a long list of all the peptides that have helped us. You guys have heard these peptides and these research chems in the podcast maybe a million times. Peptides I've used from APR such as BPC 157 and TB 500 for soft tissue healing, retatrutide and other GLPs, mitochondrial support such as SS31, MOTC, 5-MeO-1Q, methylene blue, SLU. There's a bunch of others. Obviously, the list goes on and on. One of my favorite things, though, that I've been utilizing, such as during my last prep, that has allowed my blood work to come basically pristine, aside from slightly elevated liver enzymes at about 60 and 130 1 week after the show. And this is after a leg day because my dumbass doesn't want to skip a training day. These are probably the things that I think are the most important. So this includes like your injectable glutathione, injectable or even just normal NAC, liposoluble glutathione, GI aids such as oral BPC, oral TB, KPV. A lot of these things have probably been very substantial in reducing oxidative stress and keeping all my blood markers down, and thus keeping me as basically healthy as fucking possible that you can be while you're bodybuilding. So I couldn't be more thankful to Mike for literally showing me the ropes and also providing me with all of these things. Even the compounded supplements that he creates for blood pressure and reducing oxidative stress on all your organs, including your cardiovascular system, your liver and your kidneys. All of these that he creates have been very substantial, honestly. So you can find any of these at his site, aprhealthsolutions.com, and he has offered me a code Nile for you guys to use, which will offer you a 15% discount off of all of that as well. If you guys end up using those and you like him, please let me know. Shoot in a comment, just give me a DM or something, and if you ever have any problems or any questions, I'll be here too. This is a community for me, even though I don't have a fucking Discord because I'm lazy as shit, but I fucking should make one. So love you guys, and keep training hard. Like, I don't have nearly as much of an addictive personality, but there's so many places that I can relate to you, including the obsessiveness. And I think it makes so much sense too why like I can literally show you on my macros app everything I've eaten. If you pick a day in like the last 6 years, I can show you what I ate that day because I wanted to weigh it out. And even if it was something that even if it was like on a break and I went out with friends to eat something, I still found the macros online and I still customized it in there, and then I still added it to my thing because I just needed to, and it's always been like that, down to like how many notes I have about the PEDs I use, the cycles I'm on, the food that I'm eating, the training I'm progressing. It's like this, just that like I have to, like an obsessiveness, but it does. I feel like it keeps me in check, and there's a lot of different things that I think I've done over the last few years to figure out. And I think Jared Feather used this word, and I feel like it helps. I think it is coping, but how to cope with things in healthier and healthier and healthier ways, progressively healthier and healthier ways. And one of those things, for example, is every single day in the last 3 years, I've done cold showers. I wake up with a cold shower, and sometimes I do twice a day if I feel like I need it, even though maybe it's not the most optimal for hypertrophy if you're doing it near your workouts. I don't know how, it's not an ice bath, but for sure it puts my parasympathetic state into a sympathetic state. And I feel better. I feel driven. I feel more dopamine in my system. If I don't do it, I feel like I want to go towards something else again,
Mm-hmm.
like some kind of drug or some kind of food or anything that makes me feel better. Some fucking zins. But I like do something like that, like I do a cold shower, and then I think about how good I feel afterwards. And I just try to focus on writing out that good feeling without doing anything else. And
Mm-hmm.
that keeps me going, and it's helped a lot. So I feel
Yeah.
like there's a lot of healthy, I think there's a lot of new things. There's a lot of things that people can start focusing on more and more than they could 20 years ago, just with new research, with new
Mm-hmm.
options. And I mean, shit can still be tough, but I feel like there's definitely ways for us to progress and be better.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that with these podcasts and stuff and us talking about that is that there's some people like, I'm trying to think about me before. I felt like I was like an outlier. I was like this terminally ill, like or uniquely ill, insane guy. I was like, I guess nobody's like me, like this bodybuilder guy was just like addicted to drugs, and that was I was trying by myself and I couldn't do it. I thought I was the only person like that in the world. But I wish I had like people talking about it. That I had to like fail miserably and check myself in rehab and stuff. And then I met, my friend Aaron, my sponsor, and I realized that wow, this guy's he used to do drugs. He's like he's in recovery, and it was like so peaceful. He had like serenity and stuff, and I was like, I wanted that, right? But I had to like see someone to like know what's possible. Before that, I thought it was like I was not gonna make it at some point. I was really
Mhm.
trying. So I think this podcast is good for that. It's like, yes, there's a lot of things people can do to make yourself feel good, but then there's also all the information people are sharing about what that stuff is good. Yeah, there's a bunch of like weird content lately, like AI slop, like things to really catch your attention, thirst traps. Like social media is crazy. It's like the Wild West a little bit. You get all kinds of like of weird stuff. It's like you're walking in the street. There's like the crazy bar there. There's that. There's a bunch of like hookers there. There's the criminals there. There's a bunch of drugs there. It's like social media is kind of like that. It's like you can walk down the street and there's bad shit everywhere. But then if you walk some more, if you can curate your street, because now like my wife did that. You can actually ban words on Instagram. Let's say if you don't like politics, okay, block the word conservative and block the word liberal, block all these politicians, block the word Epstein. You're not going to see any of that shit anymore, and then you're going to be able to curate your own content. That's
Hmm.
pretty smart. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so let's say if you want to hear more about recovery, you can do that, right? You consciously go look for it, but yeah, it's great that we have this podcast that we can share about it. I know it helps people. It's way easier now to get help. I think there's a lot of people in the DMs. They reach out to me. Hey, I'm going through this, and I try to help them out. I said, "What city do you live in?" This and that. I talk, and then I find meetings they can go to in their town because it's for free. The NA is like free everywhere. Social programs are free everywhere, made by recovering addicts. So it's everywhere. So I would send them like a list of meetings they can go, and sometimes they go and then they come back and they help them. There's a guy, he messaged me now, and I scrolled. That was like last week. He messaged me. He messaged me one time like 5 years ago. He messaged me 3 years after that, saying that he was grateful that I helped him. Then he messaged me again now, he's saying he's grateful I helped him 5 years ago. That's only this is so this is one of the things that feels the best about about my recovery is that when you help someone, you put a little bit of time, and then they're just like little birds that found their own, and then they do better. Imagine if if you could see everybody that you helped, the positive impacts that they had in the world, it'd be awesome, right? You could see really how
Hmm.
much you could change the world, because we can all change the world for the better if we just help people, just with what you can. If people me, it's almost have a responsibility to like talk about it in podcasts and stuff, because I know that if I can help somebody out there, they might make a decision that will change their life for the better. Then all the interactions after that will have a positive impact. You know, it's
Hmm.
like, or you with the you got Seth on. I watched some of the clips like showing his own story, which is like he's on the other side of the coin. He's like the partner. So they actually have 12-step meetings for that. It's called like Nar-Non or Al-Anon. It's a 12-step meeting for friends and family of addicts. And dude, I'll do like a side story a little bit. One of the, public speaking, I don't really care about that anymore. Like I'm okay with it. I can speak. I used to be really shy as a kid. And so I went, the Nar-Anon asked me to speak at the meeting. So their meeting consists of like mothers, family members, friends of addicts, and some of them are dead. So then I would hear some stories at first before going up there and talk, and I was like, oh my god, these are all my mom, because I feel really bad about stuff I did to my mom in recovery, right? So I was like, oh shit, I'm going in front of like 30 moms that I betrayed, I hurt. And some of them don't have their children anymore. And they still go there to get support. And I have to share, dude, I was shaking. I was shaking, man. I was shaking, like was crying and stuff. It's like it was crazy, man. So it's like, yeah, so it's really hard. Like when you do your own shit, you kind of like, oh yeah, well, if they don't let me do drugs, fuck them, then I'll give a fuck and stuff. And then but from their eyes, I was able to hear them talk about their point of view. Like even Seth's point of view, it must have been really, really hard for him to see. I think it's his ex-wife or something. He said, "Is that what he said?" So, to go through that, that's
Yep.
crazy. That's crazy. I like must have been really, really, really hard for him. And me, I was the guy doing the damage. I was the addict doing the damage to like relationships to my family and things like that. And I still feel like I have flashbacks all the time of things I've done. I'm ashamed of, and it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed by myself. I'm ashamed of things just in my head, thinking of stuff I did. And then I try to just like go back to the present. Obviously, get out of my head, get in the room, and it's good. But dude, it was a crazy time, and I know I'm not the only one. And I think that would be awesome if like there'd be some billionaire out there who wants to invest in a nonprofit. They're like, all right, Antoine, open up the best rehab center you can, and then I would open up this giant facility where I could like provide the help and the people to help, because there's something to be done there. I find there's something to be done there. The government is sending all kinds of money everywhere, right? Wherever the government you have, I know there's like waste. Wherever party you're from, there's waste anywhere. So how about we fucking invest in this and fight addiction? That'd be awesome. Hey, and if the billionaires listening, they want to invest in a nonprofit, hit me up. I'll run it for you.
Oh,
Little salary, and that's it. We'll save lives.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know that some of your, trying to think of a way to phrase this correctly. Some of your moments with drugs and addiction also overlapped with your bodybuilding career. And you mentioned 2020 and 2022.
2022 was fine. 2022, it's like 2020 TOO. I was saying 2020 also.
Okay.
So just 2020, yeah. And
but
yeah, I've done pills in the past too. Before that, when I was younger too, I would like do speed during prep sometimes.
damn.
Before I was like, it's like at some point I became a non-functioning addict. I couldn't do anything but do drugs. But there was sometimes before that I was able to, depending on the drug, I was able to just function. But it never really lasted that long, honestly. But yeah.
Do you mind me asking when you started when you first started PEDs, and how you managed that, and what that looked like for you?
Well, I remember I was 18, and my coach said, because I was competing nationally 2 years already, 16 and 17, and then I wanted to do these bigger shows, and the coach said, well, if you're going to compete against these guys, these guys are like 20 and they're doing stuff. If you want to, you at least do a little bit of stuff. So I was like, I did like a Winnie like 3 times a week for 10 weeks. And that was my first thing. And I was super scared, obviously, super scared. And at some point it kind of becomes normal. And at first it was always a thing I would just do in prep. and then in prep I was really focused. But are you saying that maybe the hormone imbalance is maybe more impulsive? Maybe. When let's say if I'm not in prep and I do testosterone, am I more impulsive and more horny? Well, this is what the thing does. So for sure, it probably didn't help. I'm not gonna lie and say and defend PEDs. It's like it did some, it didn't do anything. I don't know, but for me, anything that makes me more impulsive is gonna be bad. You understand? So it's like for most people, they can do they'll be fine. If somebody's normal, they do TRT, whatever, they won't become dicks. There's and honestly, when I'm in prep, I've never really been like a guy that's like really bad like that. Especially with my wife. I think probably the rehab really helped though. But man, I remember my first prep. I was not even on anything. I was 16. My brother would bring pizza home, and I would yell. I was mad at him for bringing pizza. And then I realized, like, really quick, I was like, okay, I'm making myself, it's almost like I have the luxury of starving myself if I want to. And why would I? This is my own choice for my own goals. Why would I make my brother or my family or people around me suffer from my own decisions that are? Then I understood, like, I gotta just shut up. I gotta shut up and fucking deal with this thing. But then at some point you just become, you don't talk as much in prep, as you don't smile as much, all these things obviously. But I realized really quick that when I'm in prep, I can't just lash out at people because I'm in prep. You're just eating rice and chicken and doing cardio and training. It's like, it feels like it's a big deal for us, but in reality, like, you're not doing anything crazy. You shouldn't go crazy. But yeah, but I've always said that to people who are like in recovery, they want to start the cycle. I'm like, man, if it's not your job, like, I wouldn't do it if you're in recovery, because it makes you more impulsive, it makes you more compulsive, it gives you more drive, it makes you more horny, gives you like this confidence that if you have a big ego already, because the ego will make you believe you're okay, and then you'll go do drugs, right? So all these things, you can make it worse. But the thing is, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a shrink. I'm just saying that if you're in recovery and you're clean, like, and you're early, don't add anything. Like, don't fix what's not broken. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Sometimes you add something and it's too much.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a shrink. And if you're suffering in any type of way, the best thing you can do is seek help. You know,
Mhm.
don't don't start doing a testosterone or something.
Right.
But yeah, but yeah, it's not going to help your addiction if you. I guess the only way I could think of is that, let's say if you're all like, I know me, like, if I was competing, then you start your prep, and then you start the cycle and stuff like that, and then of course I'm not gonna want to do drugs because I'm obsessive over the show. So, but if I would be in the past, and I would just do like, oh, I'm just gonna do a cycle to get jacked, and it's like it's off season and partying. I'm just gonna make everything worse for sure. It's gonna be harder to just resist. Imagine, like, you're just sitting home. It's Friday night. You're sitting home, and then it's like there's two, like, strippers from Montreal. Like, hey, come party. We'll do your favorite drugs. Testosterone. You're like, well, how long can I resist? You're gonna give in. But maybe
Mhm.
if you're like, you'll be not on testosterone, that'd be still hard though. Honestly,
Yeah.
it'd be still hard. It'd be still hard, right? So, yeah. Does that answer your question a little bit regarding
Yeah.
the? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Do you feel like do you feel like when you were using PEDs, whether or not it was for competition or for an off season or whatever, do you feel like you needed to limit the amount that you used because of your health from drugs in the past or currently? Or do you feel like you took more than you needed to, like you took a lot, or for too long instead?
Well, it's like my coach. Um, I was very young, so obviously I didn't do a lot then. My coach was like responsible back then. And then I was coached by John Meadows, and
Mm.
it was the lowest. When I turned pro, I was using like 200 pro per week. The last 6 weeks, I think you
Damn.
wanted to like remove the water I had, because when I was younger I had like more water, more kind of fat, so what a harder
Mhm.
look. And I
Yeah.
was not even the hardest. I was still really big. It was funny. I think it's just that I was responding to food really well. I
Mhm.
still won and stuff, but yeah, he didn't give me a lot of stuff. And then Samir Satsiri was another coach I had after that. This is when I was doing bad, so I was actually not even when I would go partying. I didn't train. I didn't do my shots. I was like out and about. So I was like most of the time I was not even doing anything. And then after that, with Dorian Hamilton, from 2018, I come back after 5 years of like the rehab and everything. Um, it's never been a lot either. But I remember the one time I was like, I did I did a bunch, and I remember I was very strong, and I stayed really full even though I was partying. I remember that, but it never occurred to me like that. What I was doing, because I remember every time I did blood work after like a big relapse, and I think because my weight would go down, like I would lose sometimes like a lot of weight. I would go from maybe like 280 down to like 40 something, just partying for like 2 months, just
Damn.
barely eating. And, but I would be like kind of ripped and like, not like a classic shape, but like I was like more classic looking, I guess. But I was, because of my genetics, right? And then I would
Mhm.
do a blood work at the rehab, and then my bloods were they were like perfect, because I lost 40 pounds. I think for me, it's all related to like being really heavy and all the food I would eat back then that was not maybe the best. When you're young, I'm like, oh yeah, muffin pump, and then like it's Chris Aceto gives muffins to my friend Regan. I'm gonna have muffins too. So it's like I would eat all kinds of stuff to be swollen. I would be like easily 290 something, and then my blood pressure was super high. And then
Mhm.
if you relapse sometimes, my blood pressure was probably like 200, honestly, over whatever it was, over like days. I don't even know. I never checked it when I was like partying, but maybe that would have made me stop. But yeah. So I think what happened is that I did a heart scan at some point. Somebody passed away. Who was it? Was it like was it um? It was when did Rich pass away? Rich Piana. Was that like two? You remember exactly when he passed away?
No.
What about Dallas? When was Dallas?
Oh, Rich was on. Yeah, Rich was in 2017. Remember, it was
Okay,
4 days after my birthday.
okay. And Dallas was before that or after that?
I thought Dallas was
Was before that, right? I'm not sure. I remember a couple people. I think it was Sean Roden. Honestly, when was Sean Roden pass away?
Dallas. Dallas was also 2017. 3 days
Okay,
before. It
okay,
was, or no, 2 days. 2 days before.
okay. I think
Yeah.
when was Sean Roden? All rest in peace for these guys, by the way. I just remember it was one of these guys passed away that I knew a little bit, and and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna, 'cause sometimes they pass away. It's like something they didn't expect. Okay, well, when you don't expect some things because you didn't do any proper tests, right? So like, okay, I'm gonna go do some tests, and then I think that the blood pressure I've had for the longest time made my calcium score was a little bit higher than usual for my age, which was like if I kept going that route, he would go up and up and up and up, and then just like I would probably have a clogging, which I don't have clogging. I didn't have clogging, which is good, and then I would just probably have a heart attack too early. You know what I mean? So I think for sure my weight combined with the partying and my genetic high blood pressure, because my dad has it, and my grandfather passed away of he had like heart surgeries too in his life, and I remember they told me too. I just when you're young, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. What? What the fuck is blood pressure? That's for old people. And but then it's like it affected me. So yeah, for sure. I'm sure the things I've done before really had an impact. So after that, I the only time that I would do things would be like before a show. Kind of
Mm.
like when I, when I was younger, a little bit more. these off. These I can't be near 200 pounds anymore. Like right now, I'm eating not even a lot of food. I'm hungry all the time. I'm like 280 pounds. This is my weight, like homeostasis. I stay at that weight, 280 pounds.
Jesus.
If I want to go lower than that, I need to like starve myself, which I don't feel like really doing that much. I feel like I'm dieting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing cardio every day. I'm trying to limit my food, and but then I'm gonna have like a day off and eat some, and then I gain 4 pounds, 283, 284. Then I go back down to 279 in the morning. So this is where I am right now. But I'm not gonna do any like mass like cycle where I want to try to get to 300 pounds, because this is my blood pressure is gonna go high. I check it. I'm on medication for it. So if I'm trying to get it lower, but then I gained weight to make it go high, it is pointless. So for me personally, yeah, I'm sure the stuff I did before with the partying and everything combined had an impact. And if I knew the impact, yes, I would have done less, probably even more before. But I didn't know. I had to do the test. I think it's when Sean passed away. I was like, I did some tests and I'm like, oh shit. Then I even did a YouTube video on it. I was sharing about it online, like everything. And then that kind of backfired. Everybody said I was going to fucking die. Like Nick Triggerly back then, they all went like, oh, cool. Some guy has a heart problem. I'm going to put that in my thumbnail and just, you know what I mean? Then I was like,
those
I
guys
was kind
love
of
to
like,
talk about drama though. So
yeah. But it's like, I get it, right? People can do that, you know? It's fine. Is that some channels are kind of funny too. I was listening to that stuff, but then when it's like, dude, I'm not gonna. What people say, I'm gonna fucking die, and then everybody says that I was done, this and that. It was kind of annoying, right? Because with my addiction, every time I shared about it, yeah, I have some bad comments. People would tell me I'm an addict sometimes in my comments and say about the drugs and the loser or whatever. I don't really care, but like that right away, it's like, dude, I tried to do something positive and it kind of backfired. I remember that, but I still did it. I wanted to make sure that. And you know what? I'll tell you was why it was worth it. There's this, when I came out with that, with the calcium score, there's some guy in the gym came me a week later, the guy that I know. He said, hey man, thanks for doing that video. I went to the hospital and get my heart checked. They said emergency. They put a stint the same night on the guy.
holy shit.
He was about to have a heart attack on the spot.
Oh my God.
They put a stint. So it's like, okay, so because of my video, I saved maybe one life. That, you know, maybe he's going to be there longer for his children now because of my video. So everybody can fucking hate on me, but I've actually literally helped somebody that came to me. Instead, I pretty much saved their life. So that's good, right? So it's like sometimes you have to remember when you do things and you get some hate, think about all this nice stuff you do. But that's what my brain does. I go on tangents like that, but I think I answered your question.
Yeah. And it's normally whenever those people will contact you personally, right?
Yeah,
Through
yeah,
DMs
they'll
or
walk
in
up to you
person.
and stuff. Yeah,
It's not going to be one of the things normally in your comments. Normally it's whatever hate is going to be. People are less prone to directly confront you when it comes to hate, right?
No,
those will probably be more in the comment section.
It never happened. The only time that something almost happened like that in real life, that was like a random guy, is it's actually pretty funny. I was at an expo, and this guy comes to me, shakes my hand, say, "You're Antoine, right?" I said, "Yeah, man." Then he looks at me. I thought you'd be taller. And then he leaves. Dude, and then he just leaves. He turns around and leaves. I was like, what the fuck? Like, sorry, I guess. I was like, I will always remember that, because it's like, it was so random. I thought you'd be taller. Usually people think I'm bigger. People think I'm bigger in person or something. Usually that's what I get. This guy said, "Oh, you'd be taller." Like, what the fuck? Get out of here. Funny. Oh yeah, it was hilarious. Maybe he was trolling me. I don't know. It was like, he looked really serious. He looked at me, scanned me like a scanner, and then he was like, "Oh, you'd be taller."
How tall are you?
I'm like 6 foot.
That's so funny, dude.
I know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
People on TikTok always think that I'm 5'4", so I normally get people saying that they're surprised that I'm bigger than they thought.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'7.5". I used to say 5'8" because my math teacher told me to round up.
Yeah, well, if you have shoes on, 5'8" with shoes. If you just put your hair like that, like this.
Oh yeah, that's what I used to do.
Oh yeah. That's a
Yeah,
classic
but
trick. Yeah.
it was because I wanted to look like Goku. Totally not because I wanted to be taller or anything
Dude,
at
I
all.
watched all of Dragon. So
No.
I just got a membership on Crunchyroll because I ended up watching Dragon Ball Kai, which is like the abbreviated version of Dragon Ball Z. I watched all the episodes in a row, and I watched all the episodes of Super with Beerus and all the gods and stuff. And
Yeah.
then I got into all the anime lately. Like I Jujutsu Kaisen, all of it. Chainsaw Man is really good. I
That's
went
awesome.
back into Berserk. I went through Berserk again now.
Oh, fuck, brother.
I was
I'm
just
a
like I'm
Berserk
doing. Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Oh,
fucking
nice.
love that shit.
Yeah, so
So
I'm
good.
watching the right now the Memorial. It's like the 3 movies. They made like a TV series with it.
Mhm.
So it's like the golden age art. But I was watching the 2017 one where it's after that with like the religious stuff. I'm like the CGI animation. I was like, what? It's like it looks weird. Then I saw the 4-star rating. I think people were really giving them a hard time with the animation in that one, the newer one, 2017. But do you read them or you watch them?
I watch them.
You watch
Yeah.
them, okay?
But to be honest, even in the last couple of years, especially since the podcast and trying to do YouTube and all this stuff, especially because I also edit a lot of my own things, I just haven't been able to watch because I can't read the subtitles at the same time as I do the work. It's fucking frustrating. It's so frustrating, dude.
Yeah, so for some reason, my wife's brother gave me the Jujutsu Kaisen like episodes on a USB card or USB thing, and it was dubbed in English and then in Japanese. And then I tried watching it on my Crunchyroll on my iPad with the English dubbed, and I couldn't do it. I was like, this it sounds too weird. I need to have the Japanese. The Japanese, like I feel like there's more emotions in it. It matches more the animation, matches more the vibe. So now, like you, I have to like if I look there, I have to go back. Like I press the button back. Well, what did they say? I have to read underneath. So I get it, but every night I've been watching because I do like an hour of cardio. So I've just been like slamming episodes, and my last meal I watch them more.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I do it. Yeah. When everybody's in bed, everybody's in bed. She's in bed, the baby's in bed, and then I can just like I got some time. So I can't do much because I'm too tired. But watch some anime, do some cardio. Yeah.
I've been training for over 15 years now, and I was too lazy to track anything training-wise for about the first 10 years because science-based training's for pussies. But I kept hitting plateaus from burnout, fatigue, joint issues, and injuries, and other factors that at the time I didn't really fully understand, realizing not everyone is built to handle the intense and same workload and injury resilience as Tom Platz and Ronnie Coleman, sad face. I wanted to speed run that shit, but the reality is dudes that have always known their body best are the ones that have been lifting for at least a decade. Shit takes a long ass time to figure out. I started tracking all my training on the Notes app on iPhone because I don't know what paper is. Until recently, I started using the RP Hypertrophy app. The RP Hypertrophy app spoon feeds you step-by-step workouts tailored towards whatever your focus is, or you can customize the workout yourself. Well-educated coaches have always cost $250 to $500 or more a month. I'm paying $500. That's like 10 bottles of testosterone. But if you're not competing or you don't have the money to spend, the app will adjust your program for you every week to maximize your long-term growth. It'll base this on your pump, how fatigued you feel, how your joints feel, and more. It takes in everything to account. None of which I took into account in college because the only accounting I did was counting how many dumpies were in my class. Look, there's a titty. If you don't believe in science-based training, you don't got to do no 3 RIR shit. You can just hoist heavy steel and track it because we all know that the people who say that they remember their weights, sets, and reps every week are full of shit. IMO, there's a sort of middle ground where you track your progress and make sure all the variables are right in your food, sleep, gear, progressive overload, and then you go to the gym and slam those heavy PRs until your blood pressure is higher than Miley Cyrus. If you're still unsure, they've got a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you still don't like it and it gives you a bad tan, you can get your money back. That way, when you compete at your next show, your tan doesn't cost you the first place that you so well deserve. So go to the link in the description below, or you go to rpstrength.com/Nile and use code Nile at checkout. That's rpstrength.com/Nile, code Nile at checkout. Speaking of cardio, shout out to all the homies that are listening to this while they're doing their cardio.
Oh, yeah. Good job. Keep going. Go faster.
It's my favorite thing is the brothers that are doing the cardio as they're listening to us. I love that.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good way to pass time, honestly.
It
Or
gives
no,
me a
you know
lot
what?
more
You know
motivation
what
not to
else?
skip my own cardio.
It's also
I'm
your
bad at that.
podcast so far is really it's just audio almost, right? You can see our faces probably, but so it's the best for me is like when I do the Joe Rogan is because that's one of the ones I listen to. They're 3 hours long. You can stop and pick them up whenever. So it's when I do like cleaning dishes, when I drive my car, all these things. It's like I'll listen to the podcast, and it's great. It's the best. So I'm sure there's some guys right now doing the dishes. So shout out to the guys doing dishes too. Shout out to
Hell
the
yeah.
shout out to the guys doing laundry because that sucks even
Laundry.
more than dishes
Yes.
and cardio. Laundry sucks. So Shay, good job.
Laundry sucks.
You're a folder or a hanger for the laundry.
I just throw it in the hamper and then I fucking hang out the ones that I normally hang, and then I fold this shit. Like, you know, the underwear and the socks is always just in the shelf unit. And there's a few clothes I have in the shelves, but most things I like to hang.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm more of a hanger guy too. The pants, I'm gonna roll them. Roll the pants, roll the shorts. I have a thing that I hang. It's like sections you can like put your pants in. Honestly, right now there's like 3 bins of clean clothes I didn't put away. So I just forage through my clean clothes and like waste time because I can't see anything. So I try to dig a sock to get boxer, dig a thing. Maybe I should do that. Like tonight, put some podcasts and do my laundry. But man, sometimes there's just things that I just procrastinate. And I'm like, okay, I'm a grown man. I should be able to do laundry easy, but no.
It's always the smallest things.
Yeah, something I'm not good at for some reason. But it's all right. Yeah.
Like I'll have a ton of boxes in my house until like for months from me moving in. Like I just never finish. Like I could just finish the last like 10 boxes or something, but I just
maybe you're trying to be minimalistic. You know, you try to keep stuff in boxes. Maybe it looks cleaner. Who knows?
Exactly.
Find an excuse to procrastinate some more.
So these tests that you were getting done, were these related? Didn't you also have a health scare at some point?
No, that's the thing. The video I did on my heart with the calcium score.
On the calcium score.
That was it. That was the test I did.
Okay,
it was not the health scares because the all the medias would made it like that. I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared. I just this is look, it's not normal because of my blood pressure. I suggest people do the test. That was the whole point of my video. There was no scare. You know, I just made some changes, you know, and you're downsize in the off season and then I won I think I won Chicago after that. Yeah. I won Chicago Pro after that. So it's like I lost some size, people, and then I would just gain it back. And so people sometimes, unless you're like really pushing to be like a top 5 Olympia guy, you have to be gearing up and being massive all year long. But a lot of guys like even John De La Rosa, off season, it's more old school. We chill more, we don't do anything, and then we just crank it up for the like Kevin Levrone. We crank it up for the show. Yeah. Once you get to your size, you're like maybe you won't be able to just like gain like another 20 pounds of muscle and be really like going against Samson. But like, I look at Andrew Jack and Samson, like I'm like, why would I even try to go against these guys? You know, I think the level is so huge right now with the size. It's like, for me, it doesn't match. Like I would make myself very unhealthy if I try to do that. I can't do it. Genetically, I have high blood pressure. And I think a lot of guys maybe have it too. They just don't know. You don't feel blood pressure. So me, I'm just being responsible, honestly. You know, obviously, if I would be the most safe possible, I just stay in my house and I don't do anything, right?
Yeah,
it's but
in my opinion, bodybuilding is one of the most important sports for you to be real with yourself, right? Like that's something that I really appreciated Ziegler Monster said on our podcast is he's had quite a few friends die in the industry, and he believes that the one issue that one of the biggest issues that we have is this issue with megadoses, and that there's still guys that are aspiring. How did he say it? They continue to aspire decade after decade for a dream that just doesn't exist. And I think, you know, I think it's important to dream big and important to reach big for big goals, but also do something such as like getting your genetics tested or checking out your family history so that way you know where your genetics lie. Because if you are someone that has, you know, consistently high blood pressure, for example, that it's exacerbated and it's really hard to bring down, then it's a sign that maybe you just shouldn't go as hard as some of these other guys that are, right?
Mm.
And you can still
Yeah,
go far. Like you made it to Olympia, and that's fucking awesome, dude. I'm still
yeah.
fighting
I
for
did
that
it
right now.
twice. I did it twice. The Olympia. I'd like to win Masters Olympia. I think I'm gonna do a comeback next year. But I'm trying to just see like how can I make myself even more healthy before even
Mhm.
trying to make that decision. But that's a decision for that's a talk for another time, I guess. But I was going to say, yeah. So a genetic test for bodybuilding. Okay, let's say if you do a cycle and then you don't fucking win your first show, like in your first or second try, it's like you look at Phil Heath. Like I'll take the best example. Phil Heath became pro in 3 shows, right? Frank McGrath, my friend, Frank McGrath turned pro in 3 shows, something like that. So it's like you win the overall, then you win the overall. It's like, and then you can become a good pro. If somebody is like, you can do whatever you want, right? But if somebody is like has been top 5 at the nationals for like 6 years in the Masters, really trying, they're just gassing everything. The guys who use the most gear is the guys who are almost making it in the national level. The pros, they'll do like they'll do a smidge and they'll be looking crazy. Like guys will do like 750 tests a week and then look like Samson. You know, I think the guys is just their genetic is so ungodly. It's insane. It's like these guys have like a way better advantage than any other guys. It's like it's not the fucking gear. It's these guys' genetics. They're insane. Have you seen the guy where he's like a 6'6" guy doing NFL combine and he jumps super high? He's like 300 pounds with like he's shredded. Some guy from Nigeria, like some Nigeria or something. He's like there's people out there with insane genetics. So you're telling me that a Chihuahua and a bull mastiff is the same species. It's a dog. They're both dogs. So, but there's Brian Shaw, and then there's I don't know. There's name somebody small. I don't know. Somebody really small. Do you know anybody super small?
No, Naga. I'm super small.
Huh? Super small. You're not super small. No, like somebody who's like okay, like the cashier at your 7-Eleven. All right, let's do
Okay.
that. Cashier at 7-Eleven versus Brian Shaw. They're both humans,
Mhm.
different genetics. You know what I mean? Unless the cashier is a sleeper build we don't know about. These get on a cycle, it can become huge. But what I'm saying is that people think the pros, it's like it's all the genetics. And I'm not saying that there's no PEDs involved, right? Of course there is. But and I'm sure there's some pros who use a massive amount too,
Mm.
but maybe they don't have to. But I think some pros are like, I'm gonna leave no stones unturned, and they just do everything they can. But sometimes they're not the best. I think the best pros are all like very like they don't have to use much because they have an advantage. They're doing bodybuilding on easy mode. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like a video game on hard mode. Like this is the everybody else. These pros are doing bodybuilding on easy mode. They have a cheat code. They have like God mode on or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a game,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I have to go soon though because I gotta go to grappling actually tonight.
Okay. Okay.
I've been
Okay.
doing jiu-jitsu once a week.
Yeah. Let's do the Q&A right now then. If you
Okay,
got
let's do it.
there was quite a few questions about your shoulders. Like Dylan Kircher asks, how does one apply bubble effect to shoulders?
I'll answer.
And how
I'll
does
answer that. No, I'll answer that for real. Okay, so
yeah.
my shoulders became like more capped when I was 20 years old.
Mhm.
Is because I was doing a lot of presses too. Yeah, but I wouldn't do presses first. I always thought, okay, the people they always say like, oh, you have imbalances in your shoulder. Your front is too powerful. So I would put the front at the end, rear first, then side, then I would do the front. So I would like do a lot of volume. I would do like a big, like maybe heavier side lateral when I was younger. Then I would do like a FST7 on
Mm,
the pec deck, reverse pec deck. And then I
nice.
would go, up, I would go 8 reps up the rack. with the rest in between on the side laterals. Then I would go from like 70 pounds and I would go down 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5 pounds. Yeah. And then just like really do laterals. And
Yeah.
I had good form early. People, when they turn like that,
Mhm.
it doesn't work. You have to really like kind of like use your side delt, but you have to watch some videos on how to do that. But I would do a bunch of laterals like crazy. The up and down the rack, like literally like up and down. Sometimes I would do 5 pound drop sets. I would be insane. I would just go all the way down to like 2 pounds if they had with 2 pounds, and then no arms, and then somebody could like hold my hands and do reps like that. So
Yeah.
I did that early, and honestly, maybe there's genetics there, but this is when my shoulders went like capped. But then what happened is I think my front delt has been behind since then too, because I kind of stopped focusing on the front delt as much, and now I
Mhm.
feel like I would need more in the front. But this is how you get cap delts. It's not the presses for me; it was the laterals.
Dude, this is what okay. I genuinely believe this. So I think that obviously whenever you do things like this with a lot of intensifiers and like volume after volume after volume, it's pretty hard on your CNS. But I think this is one of those anecdotes that you see very commonly. I did the exact same thing for my shoulders, man. And if you just save like one of these kind of workouts just for the muscle that's your weakest, you know, and then all the other ones you just do the normal shit that you should be doing. I don't know, you can follow RP or whatever, or just like, you know what I'm saying? Then
Mm.
I think this is how you can, this is really how people can bring up weak body parts, aside from putting their high carb days on the weaker body parts also. But I blew up my shoulders by doing the same shit, man. I just
Yeah, it
fucking,
works.
it's crazy.
Shoulders respond really well to that. I wouldn't do that for like, I mean, I've done crazy drops on the leg press for quads, but my
Right. You
quads is
you
like,
should tailor it for the muscle group for sure.
yeah, but it's like I wouldn't do dumbbell presses like 100 pounds, 90 pounds, 60 pounds. I would do 10 pounds. I wouldn't do that for chest. But shoulders is like, for some reason, they're a very endurant muscle because we use them a lot. You can do like a lot of reps and be fine, you
Hmm.
know. And
Hmm.
if your nervous system is burnt out, maybe just take a day off after. You'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
Which is, if you have a weak body part, actually, it's kind of smart to do that.
If you do what?
If you have a weak body part, it's kind of you train it super hard. The next day, you don't do anything. Let it rest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Um, redefining gains ask when's Aisha putting the board shorts back on?
Actually, it's funny. I posted the reel today. Was it today
Yeah,
or yesterday?
I think it was
Yeah,
yesterday. I saw it.
yeah. Because I did that. I did the best guest posings, characters and stuff. Because I got the Fit Log coming up May 9th. I'm a co-promoter with my friends. The biggest fitness
Mm.
expo in Canada, May 9th in Montreal. If you're there, come see us. It's gonna be insane. Andrew Jack is guest posing, so it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have like a halftime show, games, and bunch of cool stuff. 5 sports. Anyway, um, I was saying that because what's the question again? Oh yeah, the board shorts. So I did a bunch of guest posing for Fitlog before, and even other shows where Gladiator, the Macho Man, and the Plague Doctor is one of them. It was like I like to do that when I guest pose. I like to put a lot of time and money in it.
Hmm.
And then there was one time I did the board shorts where I come out with the shorts. If you look online, you'll find it, and then I rip them off. And it's funny because in the other post about the other guest posing, Jerry Bonilla said, "Oh, my favorite one was the board short one." But Jerry Bonilla is actually the guy that was like really angry at me for doing this because he thought I was mocking men's physique. But just to make it clear, I was mocking myself trying to look as good as a men's physique guy. This bald guy was like, I wasn't even shredded. For me, it's like I was making fun of myself, but some people got upset for it, and but it's fine. It's fine. See, in the end, he's joking about it. You know what I mean?
No,
It's like,
yeah.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
always going to be someone that's offended. That's
yeah.
offended.
It's okay. But that wasn't my intention at all. But it turned into a big thing back then. I remember that. So I
Mm.
posted again because you can reply to comment with a reel.
Hmm.
So the first time I did it was with Jeremy's comment, and I just posted that video of me in the board shorts and stuff. Yeah,
Fire.
it's funny. Yeah, go on my Instagram, Antoine V87. If you're don't know who I am, you want to see the big bodybuilder guest pose in board shorts, well, go on my Instagram and watch it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Rudy Mahosky asks, how have you consistently made a living over the years? Also, you're his favorite influencer.
Oh, sweet. Thanks. I mean, I've worked in gyms before. Since I've worked in gyms my whole life, since I'm like young, like 17. So I've always done that. Then you do the private training doing that. And then at some point when I signed my first sponsor, I was like 21 years old, 20 years old in Canada. And I was making $1,000 US per month. And that was insane at the time for me. It was crazy because I would be working and then plus doing that. And so I had two revenues, right? So my whole life I tried to have like different things coming at me. So I'm like an octopus, like one arm dies, there's still this going on and stuff. I always like try to get, different money from different places. So yeah, so that's how, and I guess the contracts, training, this and that. So I pretty much made money from being a bodybuilder and an influencer. Because I was doing videos on YouTube a long time ago. I was already doing like this content stuff. Yeah, at 15 years old, I was filming myself doing martial arts stuff, uploading the videos on a server. And I would share this video with friends on message boards. Like, look at my sampler I did, my tricks and stuff, backflips. So I was already making content on social media before social media even existed as a word. So it's like, I am aware, I'm very lucky that whatever I did when I was 15 years old became a job that I was already doing. Cool. I'm grateful. You know what I mean? It's like and then I also have a good genetics for bodybuilding and I worked hard and all this stuff combined together. I was able to make a career for myself and that's how I made a living, I guess,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tushanas asks, what's the wildest night you ever had? Laughing face.
I mean, I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to glorify drug use, right? But, and my wife is in the other room anyway. So I'm not gonna start talking about the greatest night. You know what I mean? But yeah. But I mean, however crazy it wasn't as bad as being freaking homeless in the street and living in a shelter. That's what I tell you. So it doesn't matter how really nice it was and felt good and felt like Superman. And then it's like I went all the way to the other side, the lowest level of society.
Yeah.
In the shelter. Yeah. Nice. That was that fun? Not really.
What do you feel like was the biggest thing for you that made that helped you make that comeback out of that place, out of like the dark place, and then on to Olympia and what you have now in your family?
It's the rehab I did. I admitted that I went to rehab, and then I did the meetings. So I did the recovery program, the 12-step based program. This is what then getting help and sharing with other recovering addicts, sharing online like that. I feel like my purpose was always to come back. Bodybuilding actually helped me to come back and from the rehab, because a lot of people in rehab don't have a purpose. Like me, I was like, I got to go back to bodybuilding. So it's like bodybuilding helped me, like gave me a purpose too, right?
Yeah.
So you got to find a purpose. So yeah, what really helped me is that there was not a moment that really, it was like a gradual thing. Like the first rehab was like, I learned some stuff, but then I relapsed after 3 days. The second one, I stayed for 6 months, relapsed after a month. And then I relapsed after like 3 months. It took me a long time. I'm pretty stubborn. So I think it was over time, I just never quit. I like the saying like fall down 7 times, get up 8. No matter how many times you fall, you just gotta get up one more time. And that's how at some point, the last time, I'm still up from the last time. You know what I mean? There was not a single thing that really made a difference. But of course, admitting that you're powerless, seeking help, and just never quitting, being honest with yourself, being willing to do whatever it takes to stay clean, being open-minded to try whatever, all these things really are the foundation of why I was able to come back. And it's kind of hard to answer in a short amount of time, but you get the idea.
I think that's helpful.
Yeah.
We'll just wrap this up, but Market Gains asked current stack and any plans to DJ big events.
I was organizing a charity event at the gym, but then stuff happened and it got canceled out of my power. But I was ready. I had like speakers from the Rebel, the big club in Toronto. I was going to do this crazy thing with a car show at the gym. Anyway, maybe another time, but I won't do any big events because I don't know. I just like I barely play right now because when you DJ you have to actually listen out loud because you're queuing here and then you play. So, but like sometimes it's just the wife is like doesn't agree if I'm blasting, and I gotta play loud if I play too. But I've been doing live production actually more now. So because you can do that with headphones. So I'm actually I have all these drum machines and synthesizers, and I make live techno.
Oh, that's
So
sick.
yeah, so I have some stuff on like if you go on my Instagram, there's a highlight that says like techno or something. So
Yeah.
if the guys are curious, they can check that out. And I did some reels on stuff that I shared. And the other day I posted myself. I have a theremin, which is like you play without touching the instrument.
Mhm.
And I was trying to play that over a kick drum and a snare, or whatever, and it was kind of cool. So I like music. I wish in my life, like I see the DJs playing it's like, yeah, that'd be fucking awesome to do that. But then I'm also thinking that could I really like do it right now, being in that environment away from my family doesn't make sense, right? But I would for sure play a small event in the gym or something, or outside, or like, I
Bro,
mixed in the gym with some of my friends. I brought the thing from home. We plugged the speakers from the gym, and
mhm.
I was mixing like the songs in the gym, and people were like, I was wondering what was happening. The music was different. People like it, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. But I have so many hobbies that like take time and stuff, but
Dude,
and
that's so
so little
sick, bro. I
time.
would totally fucking come, man.
Yeah,
Tell me it's some hard and fast shit like I hate models.
yeah, I like play hard more than it's like house is good, but I always tend to like even if I start a beat is slower, I always end up like doing like a faster BPM, like
Yeah.
over 130 for sure, and just like a big kick, just like this. I like it like that. Yeah, for sure.
Fire.
Yeah. This is all why I play. It's more underground shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And he asks, because he asks current stack. I know you're trying to keep your weight down though right now and just
Oh, it's
chill
just
right
like
now, right?
TRT,
Yeah.
and I try to stay within range. Like
Hmm.
my testosterone was slightly above average.
Hmm. You
No, so
mentioned,
no, the top of the line that's like high average. I was like over that slightly, so it's like still like superhuman, but like not something crazy.
okay, kind of like Captain
Yeah,
America SK.
yeah, kind of, yeah, yeah.
um, you said, if you might maybe dive into masters next year or something. If you did, what do you think you would run? Would it be like
Oh, I
a lot
would
more
do
chill than
something.
before? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, test there's no point going over 750 a week, in my opinion.
Hmm.
So obviously you do that, and then you train your. The thing is, like, I don't like to give advice. I don't do what I say. It's just like another doctor. Right? I never
Yeah,
really
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about that stuff usually, but
Right. Everyone
um,
has their own.
yeah. So like the compounds, like the last 8 weeks trend usually, or even 6. Uh, and then the hardeners the last 8, right? And then you can do like just more like normal stuff. The first, you use the diet, and then you can have like the thing for the metabolism and everything, the fat burners, you gradually add them and stuff, and you rotate them in and out and stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah, there's nothing really crazy, but I'm not a guy that's like super, I don't look super huge on stage. It's just because I'm a little bit taller, and I'm more of a condition guy, and I like to get really shredded. So
Okay.
this is what I like to do. But I think my old shape was the best because I was like a good mix. I had still fullness, but I was still shredded, all
Hmm.
plastic. So I think I could repeat that. I was 270 pounds on stage. Like I think I could repeat that again. It depends. Who knows? Maybe I'll be even lower because like when I won my 2 pro shows, I was like around 260.
Damn.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, but less is better for me
Yeah.
at that point. You know what I mean? Even if I do even less, I'm sure I'll look good anyway.
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Plus, muscle maturity is a real thing. IMO.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I ask everybody one last question at the end of every podcast. But if you were to disappear from the world tomorrow and you had one message you could send to the entire world today, what would the message be?
Mm, Probably a private message to my family, honestly. But if I want to do something more for like the whole world,
Hmm.
um, I would say that that's interesting. I would say that okay, well, if you're suffering, you're not alone. There's somebody else out there going through it, and there's somebody out there who actually overcame that can help you. So you won't you won't get better unless you share. But yes, I understand that sharing is very scary. Could be the scariest thing you can do. The judgment of other people. That when you tell them the truth that you've been suffering and failing, You're scared of what they think of you, but if they really love you, they'll want to support you. And you need to go through that scary part and ask for courage to go through that, to seek that help. And then you just, after that, you don't quit. You're honest. You're willing, open-minded to do whatever it takes to get better. And whatever it is, depression, addiction, bad behavior, anything like that that's making you suffer, you can get out of there. You're like, I've done it. I think I've done it, and I'm not like special. I see people who do it every week at my meetings, and they're normal people. Some construction guys. Some people are retired. Some people are young. Some people are on welfare. It's like if somebody is on, was from the street, is on welfare, or is an older person, and he's able to stay clean. Everybody can do it. We can all do it. So, and because we're all kind of the same. And the cool thing with the addiction is that addiction is like the least racist thing. There's no like a anti-Semitism, the racism, this and that with addiction is going to get everyone. Rich, poor, doesn't give a fuck. It's going to get you. So it's like the big unifier I find in the world. And we can all help each other with that stuff. So, but it starts with like you being brave enough to reach out, and I think you should do it. Bang, I'm dead. Goodbye, world. Because I die after, right? That's what you said?
Disappear.
Boom, poof. Yeah, that's
That
what
was awesome,
I
bro.
would say something like that, I guess. But obviously, I think my real thing would probably be like I could say one more thing to my wife and kids. You know what I mean? I would probably do that. But to the whole world would be more. That's the whole message. This is the reason why I try to share about addiction anyway. It's to make people understand that and try to help them out with that.
Thank you for saying that, man.
Yes, sir, man.
Yeah. Well, have a good time at grappling, bro, and let me know if you ever need anything.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, thanks for everybody listening. avbodybuilding.com is my website. If you want to get some online coaching, you can either DM me on my Instagram, Antoine87. I'm sure it's in the bio, or you can go on my website. And shout out to my sponsor, Jack Factory, Elevate Foods, and Golden Grip, new one.
Nice.
Yeah. If you go on their website right now, Grip10 is the code, and the rest of the codes is AV for all the other sponsors. But I got to thank them because they've been good to me. And thanks to you, man. Good podcast. Thanks.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Same.
Yeah.
Love you guys. 5-star on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And
Transparent.
Yeah, share it. And I'll see you all next week on the treadmill.
Yeah, treadmill or the laundry basket.